Hi, my name is Rachelle Smith, Certified Master Fitness Trainer, Professional Speaker, and Author. Folks, last time I highlighted how hiring the right people and just really recognizing the value of not settling will make the difference in whether your facility becomes an outlier, one of those positive outliers I talked about, or one that's average. I always want you to be an outlier, above average, exceptional. So really think long and hard during your hiring process. Now this time, folks, I wanted to further continue talking about something I mentioned in the last episode. Hadn't planned on this episode, but just going to drop this one in here real quick before the end of the year. And that is dealing with creepy people in the gym. Now, this is such an important point, and there are countless people in this country that leave gyms because of that various reason. Members that leave, but also staff members that leave. I mean, if you Google various gyms across the country, gyms of different types, this is a very common complaint you see. Whether it's people that worked at the front desk and, oh, there were always these older men who were always creeping on me and hitting on me, and I just got tired of it and left. Or, I had this trainer who's always texting me and hitting on me, and I really don't feel comfortable with this. I mean, it happens, folks. It happens, member to member. I mean, it happens. And so what I want to really do is challenge people and really raise the level of awareness of the importance of this issue, this whole issue of creepiness. I mean, again, we're hearing in the news now, just, a lot of sexual harassment, a lot of things like that. And so in these same type of scenarios play themselves out in fitness facilities in this country every day as well, in various shapes and forms and fashions. And so we think about this, and when you hear those stories, what do people always say? The unenlightened people will say, one person said something and now all of these other people. Why is that? The reason why is because it takes a lot of courage to speak up in any type of situation. Okay, particularly if you're an employee, in employment situations where people are afraid of losing their job, losing their income. Okay, that's a huge motivating factor in terms of why people are afraid to speak up. And the front desk people that you just see it. Look at various reviews of gyms, and you will see this constantly. All gyms of all different types and backgrounds and sizes and locations. Very, very common. And I told you the young lady at my gym, the last gym, wasn't there very long, and I knew it. But she started wearing those earbuds in. Why? Trying to indirectly create a boundary. So if you got earbuds on, don't talk to me. Just let me check you in. You be on your way in to work out, and we're done. All right, but this kind of stuff happens because people have a very hard time speaking up and being assertive when there's fear, when there's people don't want to lose their jobs. All right, so I want to challenge leaders and managers and assistant managers and supervisors. All right, I really want you to open the lines of communication with your staff. All right, have you had this conversation with them? Have you had a conversation with your trainers to just review? I mean, you may just hire somebody thinking, they understand what's appropriate, what's not appropriate in terms of conversation and how you approach people and what you say to people. All right, have you had that conversation? Do they know? Have standards or expectations have they ever been set? Or are you just kind of throwing people in willy-nilly and expecting them to behave in a professional manner? Does not happen in fitness facilities or any type of facility. All right, so I want you to open that line of communication and let your staff know. I don't care if it's the cleaning staff or the front desk or even management. I mean, you got to all kind of make sure people know that they can come to you if there's someone that's making them feel uncomfortable or threatened. All right, they need to know that you're not going to judge them, you're not going to fire them, they're not going to create any, it's not going to create any problems or any type of negative ramifications for them, because that's why many employees, particularly highly skewed towards females, will leave gyms. Leave gyms, period, as members and as employees. Happens all the time. Some guys creeping on them, some guys, plural, are creeping on them, or whatever the case may be, all right, and they don't feel that they can speak up and end the behavior and confront the behavior. Well, my only option, remember, in human physiology, what did we learn? You either, when a human being is threatened, even animals, you're either going to fight, you're going to flee. You're going to fight or you're going to flee. All right, so what is that reaction? I'm going to flee. All right, I'm going to flee. I'm going to leave this gym. I'm going to find another gym. I'm going to go at a different time. I'm going to do something to make this uncomfortable situation go away. All right, and I don't want you losing staff members, as it happens all the time, because of something like this that could have been prevented if there had been open lines of communication. All right, if you're at the front desk and you notice that somebody's just hanging out. And again, you can watch your people. Hopefully you can watch their body language. You can kind of, listen in on the conversation, participate, whatever. You can tell how that person is reacting to that situation. Are they trying to flee? Do they have closed body language? Are they trying to find an escape? Again, fight or flee. Are they trying to flee? Are they trying to, oh, let me go do such and such, or oh, well, let me go do such and such, oh, I need to do such and such, I got to go to the bathroom. All right, and especially if you notice a pattern where that, every time this happens, they're trying to flee or escape. That's a sign, and you got to pick up on that body language to recognize, okay, my person isn't, okay, they're probably not comfortable with this. Let me just open the lines of communication and ask, how do you, the guy really likes to talk, or reverse, oh, that girl, that woman likes to talk. Engage their reaction, see what they have to say, and you can determine, try your best to determine what's going on. And especially if you notice a situation like that, you gotta shut it down. You gotta shut it down. Because what is that? Behavior permitted only increases. So the first time the emotionally needy person feels that they can stand there and talk to you for an hour, okay, the first time you allow it, then it's going to be, okay, next time, oh yeah, I can do that again. And then that's how time increases. They may start out talking to you for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden they're standing there talking to you for an hour. All right, and you feel like you have no escape. There's nothing you can do. And there is something that you can do. All right, you can even confront the situation politely and respectfully yourself and say, well, hey, I don't want to take time away from your workouts. You were dedicated, you were focused, and I want you to continue to be as healthy and fit as you can be. So I'm going to let you go. And hopefully if they get it, they'll walk off. And then if they don't get it, you got to keep repeating that. The broken record technique, you can look it up. Keep repeating that. And if they don't get it, talk to your manager, your supervisor about it. Hey, this is what's going on, whatever this and that. He or she needs to shut it down for you. And there could be something as far as any type of gym leader could address that situation and say, well, you know what, so-and-so, we are so glad you remember. We absolutely love you here. But, our staff, we're just really kind of big on, you can just even say this. We're really big on being attentive, so we want to be focused on our members and people coming in and people going out so we could say goodbye and pay attention to what's going on. And that's hard for us to do if we're kind of chit-chatting because, our mind kind of gets off what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, there's things you could address it that way. But please address it. All right? Employees as well as members. Folks, recognize you don't have to feel like you're being threatened in a gym or to be made uncomfortable. Don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. All right, I don't care what type of situation or scenario, you don't have to suffer in silence. Bring it to someone's attention. All right, bring it to someone's attention. If you need to, call the police, call 911, let them know. Hey, this is a situation, I don't know what's going to happen here, because what is creepiness? Research has shown creepiness can be hard to kind of pinpoint sometimes because it's a feeling. So-and-so made me feel creepy, or so-and-so is creepy. That's your reaction to a person. A lot of times that intuition will tell you that something's not right about this person. All right, if you read Gavin DeBecker's phenomenal book called The Gift of Fear, it says you don't ignore that. That intuition is telling you something about this person isn't right. All right, many people that end up murdered, robbed, raped, and all of that. Okay, he's an expert in terms of a security expert, personal security and just corporate and all of that security. He said, your body will tell you something isn't right. This is a dangerous situation. I'm uncomfortable, whatever. Because that's how things start, where somebody's all of a sudden chatting with you for 2 minutes, then it turns to 20 minutes, then it turns to an hour, and now they're fixated upon you, and now all of a sudden they're obsessed with you, and they're waiting for you when you get off work by your car. All of a sudden now you're dealing with a stalking situation, and it starts out, again, some man could be talking to a woman at the front desk, and that's how in reverse. All right, a woman could be talking to a guy at the front desk, and all of a sudden she's obsessed, and she's fixated, and all of a sudden she's stalking. And this is the way some of this stuff happens. So I just want to bring it to light and help you to recognize people go to gyms with various motives. All right, you got to understand that. Everybody that's not in any type of fitness facility is not there to work out. Everyone is absolutely not there to work out. People have different motives. Some people are there looking for relationships. You got single people looking for relationships. Unfortunately, you got married people looking for relationships. You got people looking for friends. You got people that go there to see friends. You got people that are bored. You got people that are lonely. You got people that are unhappy with work or unhappy in their relationships. So they're looking for an escape. And gyms tend to be very big escape locations. They'll go to the gym for 2 and 3 hours instead of going home and dealing with and addressing relational situations. Huge escape locations. You got people that are there to steal. That's why theft, locker room theft, has been prevalent in gyms. probably since the beginning of time, and always will be. Why? Because you got people there with wrong motives who are there to scope out and pay attention to vulnerabilities and weaknesses that they can exploit to steal. All right, there's various motives. People with trying to keep up with somebody else. So they are going to the gym because their friend belongs to the gym, or their friend lost 50 pounds, so then they want to lose 50 pounds. I mean, you got to understand that everybody is not in any facility or anything outside of a facility. People always have different motives, and they're not always necessarily right motives. So it's up to us, particularly those of us as fitness leaders, to really bring, let people know that, hey, this is something you don't have to tolerate. This is something you could be assertive, talk to the person yourself, have your manager, somebody in a leadership role, deal with it. Those of you in leadership roles, take these complaints seriously. Because if one person is complaining to you, particularly if it's a female, the chance is there that there's other females that have been impacted or whatever, that have already even left your gym or facility because of this person. So take note. Promise me. This is such an important point. And just one last point, the creepiness. I mean, there's just so many different things that people can do to be creepy in fitness facilities, but there's a few big ones like age difference. So if you're 71 years old and you're trying to talk to somebody that's 27, I mean, just recognize. Chances really good where that person's going to feel like, okay, what is this? You could be my grandfather. You know what I mean? That type of scenario. Lingering, as I mentioned, the cardinal sin of creepy behavior, lingering. Just not recognizing people's personal space, body language, and just, hanging around and standing around. And when the conversation with someone is ending and you're still standing there, you're at the front desk talking to the staff for an hour, that's way too long. I mean, even if you know the people, like, that's way too long. And you got to recognize that that's going to create some uncomfortable feelings like, okay, so, and they're in a situation where they're there, they're doing their job, they're being nice for a reason, and they can't necessarily, it would take a person with a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to shut that down. All right. And so, but I just encourage, if you're in that situation, talk to your manager, talk to the assistant manager, talk to the owner, make those situations known, but you got to shut that behavior down because they're taking away from your productivity. And reality, they're taking away from their workout, but that goes to show you they're not really there to work out. They're there for other reasons, trying to get some emotional needs met, whatever. And so just recognize that. Don't be creepy. Read body language. People's body language, our body language tells it all. All right, I'm known in gyms. I don't smile. I'm not friendly. I don't talk to people except for the staff at Planet Fitness in Novi. I'm very unfriendly. My body language says, I mean, it truly says, and I know that. Approach me at your own risk. I mean, yeah, because chances are really good I'm going to shut you down. You're going to get shut down. All right, but recognize that most people aren't like me. They're going to be people pleasers. Like I'm used to be a big people pleaser, and I was the one that wasn't as assertive as I should have been. So I know, folks, these things happen in gyms, but you got to read body language. If you're trying to get some person's attention, or you're staring, don't stare. Creepy, creepy, creepy. You're staring at somebody, and they see you, and they look away, or they turn their back. Don't just move on. Stop it. Recognize. I mean, our bodies are going to show people when we're being creeped out or made uncomfortable. So it's very important to be mentally and emotionally healthy enough to recognize the signs and let it go. Move on. Let it be whatever. And so, folks, I just wanted to share these quick thoughts with you. I look forward next time to exploring other topics in the fitness world. Thanks so much for your time. Make it a wonderfully fit day.